Hi guys, it's Lisa from A Bag Lady Journals. I just wanted to share a little flip through today of my journal in process for Junk Journal July. And I am following along with coffee, creativity and coffee. Her channel is wonderful. She does some really lovely journals and narrating with her journals. This is just some junk here. And also shout out to Gwen at GwenTheTrashWitch, who is our lovely host for Flip Through Friday. So let's just have a quick look. We are on day 10. Which I have not done yet, but the prompt is food. So what I'm going to just show you is what I've done so far from 1 to 9. And first one is analog. So let's take a look. We've got analog. Number 2 is nature. Number 3 is present. Okay, so let's take a look at those three. So first of all, analog. Here's what I did for analog. And I just used a combination of images and words to capture, well, I guess all of the analog things that we used to have in the past and that are very nostalgic now. And so obviously the cord telephone and the record player, a camera that you actually, hold and click and you hear the sounds and get your film developed. Or in some cases, some people would develop their own pictures, their own photographs, which was quite the process back in the day as well, and a really great hobby for a lot of people that were interested in that. As well as typewriters. What else did I write? Basically just the sounds, the touch, the texture, the crinkling sounds of like holding a journal, holding paper. I even put a paintbrush in here with paint drops because I know you can do that digitally now as well, but this would be the analog way of like the real holding the paintbrush and mixing up your paints and dripping away with your paints. So I love that. Typewriter, yeah, just all that stuff. So I think I did a pretty good job of capturing that. And here's the old film. This isn't even that old. These are sort of the film cartridges from probably the 90s and into the early 2000s. So that's kind of cool. I had actually just bought a book. Here, I'll show you. Just before I even started this journal, and it's a die cut pad, and it's just really all retro stuff. So this kind of came in handy for that particular prompt. So that's fun. So the next one is nature, and I just drew a starling, and there's the myrrh pattern. We had a little starling in our life just right around this time. He just flew away at the end of June, and he was sort of he was a baby bird that my husband found in the alley at his shop, and it was the family didn't seem to be anywhere nearby, and he waited and waited to see, but the bird didn't seem to know where he wasn't going to survive, according to my husband, who loves to save animals. So this little guy came home with us, and or with him, I should say. He brought him home. And anyway, he has since flown free, which is wonderful. But I thought, okay, well, I must draw a starling. Love that. So, and then this one is present. So I do, this one I wasn't really quite sure what I was going to do, but I just did like the opening a present, like a box, and getting the gift of time. So the present of time. And then when we talk about present, as time, you get the running out, keeping time, the now, and the gift of time, the tides of time, missing time. So I just kind of clocks and time to represent present. And then what was our next one, guys? Oh, wax seal. Okay, so I didn't have a wax seal. I thought, okay, well, I guess I'll make a little envelope and I will do a seal with just my candle wax. And I just did a letter to my past self, and then I put a small little note inside this envelope that I made from wrapping paper, and then just sealed it with wax. So that, I like how that turned out. That's kind of cool. And the next one is crossword puzzle. So I made my own crossword puzzle, starting with the word journal, and then just developing from there. So I've just got other words like journal, junk, or you could say junk journal, and reasons, thoughts, what does it say? Secrets, poetry, can't read that. Tarot, emotions, or emotion. And then I just took little pieces of puzzle, the answer pages, and just tore up some of those. And it is really messy. I don't mind. I just added to the mess by putting a little spray ink on it. Okay, so that's that one. This is not a prompt. I just have this page. Maybe I'll use that for something else. This is, now the next prompt was journey. And I felt like the wheel somehow, the wheel of the seasons was going to represent the journey. So you journey forward, and sometimes you journey backwards. And if you want to look at memories or how you got to where you are now, you look back in time. And so we're just sort of see the cycle going backwards, which isn't always healthy. And so this is the backwards season. So you start with winter and you go back to fall, then you go back to summer and spring. And here, journey, when I think of journey, we really are going forward to the future. We don't necessarily know what's coming next. And so this is starting with spring. We kind of go around. And the other thing about journey is we always kind of come back and then we go around again. I feel like the wheel was kind of the symbol of the journey instead of it being linear. So yeah, kind of like that one. And roots was the next prompt. And I decided on the tree because I just think the roots and the top of the tree are just so incredible, and I wanted to capture that. And as above, so below. I think that if our roots are healthy, what you see will be healthy. So I just love the symbol of the tree for so many different things as well, whether it's a family tree or, so anyway, I like how that turned out. The next one is emptiness. And that was sort of a hard one, but I thought, okay, I'm going to make a silhouette. I'm going to cut out and then glue in this image where we actually visually see the emptiness, and we see the heart as an empty space as well. And then I just made a note that, what did I put here? Fill the emptiness with creative pursuits, with self-love, with heartfelt moments of appreciation. It's the little endearments that fill us up. excuse me, that fill us up. So yeah, just thinking, you know, thinking a little bit on things that can make you feel, or make, I guess, me feel empty. And one of them is, you know, when you have a loss or you're grieving, grief can have sort of a feeling of making you feel emptied out. And so we want to think about how we can fill ourselves back up. So the next prompt was coin. And I'm going to put her here, I think. This page is, I don't know, I'll come back to it for, if maybe it'll work with one of the other prompts. But coin was this one. And I was going to use a loonie, but it's funny because I seem to always find dimes everywhere around the house. It's like the lowly little dime. And I think, you know, when you start looking at your coins, it's kind of interesting. Like this is, oh, sorry. I don't know if this is coming up on the very clearly because of the glare, but we have the blue nose sailboat on our dime. And I started to draw that on some of the coins, and which made it kind of, you know, it's kind of good to study. Oh, okay, this is a little bit of our Canadian history. And on the back, on this dime in particular, we do have Queen Elizabeth. And now I think the new dimes will have King Charles. But I did a couple with Queen Elizabeth on them. So yeah, just kind of doodled. And then I had put this plastic piece, excuse me. I had put this plastic piece, I glued it on the page, and then I literally found this just sitting on my desk. And I thought, oh, okay, well this really seems to make sense for a coin, right? We need coin to shop, and we're always reusing and repeating our shopping and needing our coins to buy our necessities. So I thought that was appropriate. So I just tucked that in here, and then the dime. And that was that one. So now this, I mean, it is junk journal, but this really technically it's a journal I made, but it's not really made of junk. It's just papers. And I had made it specifically to fit my TN cover, Traveler's Notebook. But in any case, I thought, okay, well, this will work for Junk Journal July. And so the pages aren't real interesting, so I might start gluing in more things and then just going along and doing the prompts and see what fits. But it's not so bad having blank pages for the prompts, actually. It leaves it kind of wide open. So that is it, and I'll just a little mention about this cover. I absolutely love this cover. I made it a couple years ago, and I just do, like, I'll take this one out and I'll put, this actually fits a bigger journal a little bit better. Something like, it would almost, yeah, it would almost, no, not that one, sorry. Something smaller, but in any case, it will fit a slightly wider journal. So it's even longer a little bit. But what I was going to say is I just love the feel of it. It just feels so nice, and it makes a nice little armrest when I'm on my mouse doing stuff on the computer. So that is my Junk Journal July so far, and join at Creativity and Coffee if you want to see what she's up to. She is doing her process every day. And I haven't been brave enough to do a process because I always feel a little bit stumped if I've got the camera going, trying to get some ideas for a prompt. I always feel like, oh no, it'll be too slow, I'll take too long. But anyways, happy Flip Through Friday, everybody, and I hope you have a nice weekend, or flip through whenever you feel like it. And I'd love to come see I'd love to go around and see everyone's flip throughs. Thanks again. Thanks, Gwen, and we will see everybody soon. Bye-bye for now.